May we all find our bodies in a comfortable, easy seat. Any easy seat that feels good for you. May you find your position as we are using our easy pose to help relax and wind down our mind and bodies here. Tummies are tucked in at the navel. Spinal cords are nice and elongated, meaning we're not sunken, having that nice elongated spine. With the shoulders relaxed downward away from the ears. This allows us to relax and soothe the upper parts of our bodies. Taking a nice deep intentional breath in. Exhale. Breathe in deeply. Exhale fully. Taking a moment to notice how the breath feels within the body. As we breathe our palms at heart center, coming into a seated prayer. Silent meditation. 4 natural breaths. Two breaths. As we are in our easy seat and prayer hands, may we take this time to simply just check in with our environment. Taking a moment to notice what is going on right here, right now, in our present moment without judgment, simply being aware. And during our session here today, we may hear noises and sounds. We may become distracted. However, may we only allow in what is comforting and soothing for us in our practice here today. 2 more breaths. As we breathe our palms above our heads in our seated salute, palms are together. Interlacing our fingers with that pointer finger pointing up towards the heavens as we allow our arms to slightly flow towards the back of the room. Our pelvic bone tilts forward, heart chakra is lifted, chin is up. You may notice that slight back bend. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. As we exhale back to center, separating those palms, we are in that seated extended mountain. Palms are separated. As we twist the body towards the right, palms come down, gazing over that right shoulder, coming into that seated twist. Allowing the twist to relax and soothe that spine. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhale back to center, coming into that star. Palms are outward towards the side as we take a nice breath. Exhale, twist the body, gazing over that left shoulder, seated twist, opposite side. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhaling back to center, relaxing our palms flat on the earth next to our buttocks on the sides of our bodies. Just taking a moment to check in as we lean the body towards the right. Left hand comes up over the head, feeling that side stretch. Optioning to slightly gaze up at the heavens. Noticing that when we gaze up, you'll feel that slight spinal twist. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhaling to center, both palms are on the earth. As we lean our body towards the left, right arm flows over the head, feeling that stretch here, that side body. Optioning to gaze up at the heavens. Noticing when we gaze up, we twist that spinal cord slightly. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhaling back to center, breathing our palms to the earth. Taking a moment to check in with our environment. Noticing how our spine feels. If all feels well, we're going to breathe our palms back up in the air, seated salute, interlacing those fingers. With that pointer finger pointing up, squeezing the shoulder blades together nice and tight. We're going to squeeze that spinal cord. We are working the back blades, the upper parts of the back. 2 more breaths. Exhaling back to center, coming into that extended mountain. We're going to ball our hands in our fists, coming on down to those cactus hands. Nice and strong. Keeping those elbows up. We're going to twist our body towards the right, coming back to center, and then twist to the left. We are working the spinal. We are working the hip flexors here. We are working the waist, keeping its core nice and tight, going as fast or as slow as you choose to. We are working the range of motion. 2 more breaths. Finding our pause at center, placing our fingertips on our shoulders. And we're going to rotate our shoulders up and towards the back. Doing a couple of shoulder rolls here, continuing to work on the health of the upper parts of our bodies. Going as fast or as slow as we choose. Range of motion. 2 more breaths. We're going to find that pause as we rotate opposite direction. Keeping that heart chakra lifted, chin up, spinal cord is long. Feeling the burn. 3 more breaths. 2 breaths. We're going to find that pause, breathing our palms outward towards the side. Our palms can be up or they can be down. And we are feeling that burn, but we're going to keep on working if we choose. We're going to do circular rotations to the front. We can be big circles or small circles, whatever feels best for you. Resting the body whenever you need. 4 breaths. 2 breaths. We're feeling that burn, but we are working our arms. Getting ready for our summer body. We're going to find that pause as we rotate opposite direction. Feeling that burn, but we're going to keep on rotating if we choose to. 4 breaths. 2 breaths. We're going to find that pause, breathing our arms together. We're going to hug our bodies, squeezing our bodies, noticing how this relaxes and soothes the shoulders. We're showing ourselves a little love. This is also counter stretching the muscles we just worked. Breathe in. Exhale. Relaxing our palms to our laps. Let's come into a diamond pose or a butterfly. This is a bound position, diamond or butterfly. We're going to work those hip flexors as we slightly hinge forward. Noticing that when we hinge forward, you may feel it in your inner thighs, allowing those shoulders to melt downward towards the earth, allowing the head to drop downward towards the feet. Taking a moment to go inward, noticing how this feels in your inner thighs as well as your lower back. As our shoulders melts forward, it also relaxes and soothes the shoulders, the muscles we just worked. With the eyes gazed down or closed, 4 breaths. Two breaths. Exhaling on up, we're going to breathe our legs together, coming into that staff pose. Legs are parallel, side by side. Toes are pointing upwards towards the heavens, or they could be pointing downward towards the earth, whichever one feels best for you. As we slightly hinge forward, we are in that seated half forward fold. You may feel this behind your legs and your hamstrings. This is a slight stretch as we are lengthening. And we can option to come into a complete seated forward fold by allowing our torso to come closer to the thighs. Connecting our hands to our ankles or our feet. Dropping those shoulders, dropping the head down. Eyes are closed. Breathe in. Exhale. 4 breaths. Two more breaths. Exhaling up, we're going to come into a straddle pose, wide-legged, breathing our legs apart. Nice and wide-legged, breathing our hands towards the earth in front of us as we walk our hands forward. And you'll feel that stretch a little deeper here in those inner thighs. Just going to hang out here for a couple of moments. Breathe in. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Exhaling up, still wide-legged. We're going to twist our bodies towards the right and flow over that right thigh. And just noticing how this feels in that thigh behind the legs. This is a nice stretch. We can keep our head up or we can drop our head down. Whatever feels best for you. We can reach our hands to our ankles, to our feet. We're going to hold this pose, feeling the body lengthen. 4 breaths. Two breaths. Exhaling back to center. We're going to twist our bodies towards the left, allowing our torso to relax over that left thigh. Eyes are gazed down or closed, allowing those shoulders to melt down. We can keep our head up or we can drop that head downward closer to our knee. Connecting our hands to our ankles or our feet. 4 breaths. Two more breaths. Exhaling back to center, lifting our bodies up, breathing our legs slightly inward. We're going to come into a boat pose variation, lifting our feet up off the earth. We're going to connect our hands to our feet. Just play around with this for a second, noticing how we feel. Our core muscles are tight, backs are nice and elongated here. And we're going to extend that left leg out to the left, out to the side. It can be in front of us if we choose or out to the side, whatever feels best for you. This is our boat pose variation. Yes, we are lengthening and stretching here today. We got that heart chakra lifted and our chin up. 3 more breaths. 2 breaths. Exhaling that foot back in. We're going to keep on flowing, extending that opposite leg out to the sides, feeling that lengthen. We can also breathe it to the front of our bodies or lateral to the side, whatever feels best for you. We are stretching here, lengthening, keeping that heart chakra lifted, chin up. 3 more breaths. 2 breaths. Exhale, breathing that leg back in. And we're going to keep on flowing, extending that left leg, extending that right leg, both out to the side or in front of us, whatever feels best for you. Feeling that stretch, feeling that lengthen. We are working the hamstrings. 4 more breaths. 2 breaths. Now we're going to flow into that boat pose, breathing our legs parallel with our hands, or we can be in that extended boat pose, whatever feels best for you. Noticing how that core, the abdominal muscles are working a little bit harder when we're in that full boat pose or extended boat pose. So whatever feels best for you, 5 breaths. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. And we are working on our summer body here. So we're going to hold this pose. We're going to breathe our hands inward, fists or palms in the fist. And we're going to bang our hands from side to side. We are now working those obliques. Optioning to cross the feet, the ankles if that feels good. Whatever you choose, we're going to do 8 of these, or 8 breaths. Going as fast or slow as you choose. 6 more breaths. 4 breaths. 2 more breaths. Finding that pause, connecting our hands to our feet, bounding our feet together, coming into that diamond or that butterfly, keeping that back nice and straight as we flow into a cow. Allowing that pelvic bone to tilt forward, heart chakra's lifted, chin is up. Noticing how this cow pose relaxes and soothes the body parts we just worked. Taking that nice breath. Exhale to cat. Chin comes to clavicle, spinal cord flows to the back of the room. As we do a couple of cat cows to our natural breath. 2 more breaths. Begin to find that pause at center, breathing our legs inward. Let's flow onto our backs, knees to chest, hugging those knees into the chest. Taking a nice breath in. Exhale. Allowing the back legs to become one with the yoga mat. Eyes are gazed down or closed. Extending those legs up in the air. Legs on the wall, invisible wall, waterfall pose. As we are pointing our toes upwards towards the heavens, feeling that stretch. Eyes are gazed down or closed. 4 breaths. Allowing those shoulder blades to melt towards the earth. 2 more breaths. Allowing those legs to flow towards the side, lateral, wide-legged, reclined. Feeling that stretch in the inner thighs. Optioning to breathe those legs closer to the torso. Legs comes closer to the head, the shoulders, if that feels good. Exhaling legs back in. Let's come into a happy baby. Hands between the thighs, coming out to the side, connecting the hands to the feet. Happy baby. Feet are up in the air. Backs are connected to the earth. This works our spinal cord. Optioning to rock or sway that body from side to side, allowing the earth to relax and soothe that spine. Optioning to flow into a shoulder press or a pretzel pose when we lift our legs over our shoulders, behind our heads. If that feels good, just going to hang out here. 5 more breaths. Happy baby. Pretzel pose. Rocking the body side to side, whatever you choose. 4 more breaths. 3 breaths. Finding our pause at center, hugging our knees into our chest. Breathe in. Exhale, feet are flat on the earth, knees are high in the air. Feet are flat on the earth, knees are high in the air. We're going to place our palms next to our buttocks. Palms are on the earth. We're going to use our palms, our feet to lift that pelvic bone, lift that gluteus maximus off the earth, bridge pose. Feeling that gluteus maximus squeeze, getting nice and tight, squeeze, squeeze. Remembering we are working on that summer body here. We are lengthening for height. We are working our core, and we're now going to work that gluteus maximus. Filling that butt, come up nice and tight, squeezing it, squeeze, squeeze. Feeling the burn. Now we can option to pulse up and down, or we can just squeeze it up nice and tight and just hold it there. Feeling that gluteus maximus. 6 breaths. Optioning to breathe our hands underneath our buttocks and walking our shoulder blades closer to our spinal cord, if that feels good. As we continue to pulse up and down, or simply squeeze it up nice and tight and hold that squeeze. Lifting and rounding that buttocks. 4 more breaths. If we're holding it up nice and tight, let's give it a couple of pulses, bringing it down and breathing it back up, noticing how those pulses feel and that gluteus maximus. Buns of still. We're going to do a bonus here. 4 more breaths. The buttocks is one of the biggest muscles in the body, if not the biggest muscle. We can round it, we can lift it. 3 more breaths. 2 breaths. Taking a nice breath in. Exhale, relaxing that buttocks, uninterlacing those fingers, breathing those knees into the chest, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe in. Exhale, allowing the knees to flow towards the left, recline spinal twist, working that spinal cord, twisting that body. Knees flows to the left, right arm comes out to the side like a lowercase t. With that top leg, we can option to straighten it out towards the left if that feels good. Coming into that hand to toe spinal twist. If you choose, taking that breath, exhale, connecting the body to the yoga mat. Eyes or gaze downward or closed. May we become one with our environment. Breathe in. Exhale. 5 breaths. Three breaths. Exhaling back to center, hugging those knees into the chest. Breathe in. Exhale, knees flows towards the right, recline spinal twist, opposite side. Feeling those knees flow towards the right, that spinal twist. That left arm goes out to the side like a lowercase t. Optioning to gaze up at the heavens or gazing over that left shoulder. Also optioning, we can straighten that top leg out to the side, coming into that reclined hand to toe spinal twist if that feels good for you. Shoulder blades are melted into the yoga mat. Eyes are gazed downward to closed. Completely relaxing here. 5 breaths. Two more breaths. Exhaling the body back to center. We're going to straighten our legs parallel, side by side. Toes are pointing upwards towards the heavens. We're going to cross our right leg over our left. We're going to breathe our legs, feet slightly towards the left, lifting our arms above our heads, interlacing our fingers with that pointer finger pointing up. And we're going to allow our bodies to lean towards the left. We are working at banana pose here, allowing that body to get into our reclined banana. Feet are towards the left, arms are towards the left, up over our head. Our bodies are shaped like a banana. You will feel that stretch in your side body. We are also lengthening, elongating the body. Three more breaths. Feeling that body lengthen here. Two more breaths. Exhaling back to center. Then we're going to uncross that leg and we're going to cross that left foot over that right, breathing our legs slightly towards the right. As we walk our shoulders towards the right, arms are above our heads, fingers are interlaced with that pointer finger pointing up. Banana opposite side. Feeling that stretch in that side body. Feeling that body lengthen and stretch here. Three breaths. Two more breaths. Exhaling that body back to center. Uncrossing those legs. Putting our feet flat on the earth. Our knees are in the air. Feet are flat on the earth. Knees are in the air. Placing our palms next to our buttocks. We're going to just lift that gluteus maximus off the earth one more time. Lifting it up nice and high. We're just going to pulse it up and down. Pulsing that gluteus maximus up and down. Or we can pulse it up and feel that squeeze. 4 breaths. 3 breaths. Squeezing it nice and tight. Don't hold back. 2 more breaths. Now let's breathe our knees together and separate the knees as we pulse it up and down. And feeling that gluteus maximus, also working the side gluteus maximus, the side glutes. Squeezing those knees together as we pulse it up and then releasing, separating those knees. Squeezing those knees back together. We're going to do 4 more of these. 3 more. Feeling that burn. Keep on going. 2 more. Summer body here. Lifting and gluteus. 1 more. Pulsing it up. Squeeze, squeeze. Hold it. Exhale, release. Lifting those knees to the chest. Hugging them in. Breathe in. Exhale. Crossing our feet at our ankles. We're going to lift our bodies up. Feeling that core muscles working here. Lifting the body up. Let's cross our feet at our ankles, coming onto our hands and our knees. Tabletop pose. Palms are flat on the earth. Knees are hip distance apart. We're going to drop down to that cow. Chin is up. Breathe in. Exhale, cat. Coming back to cat. Cow. I'm sorry. Let's do some cat cows to our natural breath. 2 more. Then we're going to find that pose at center, pushing our bodies up to our down dog, gazing at our feet. As we walk our dog by pedaling our feet left and right. Finding that pause, shifting forward, high plank. Now, high plank could be on our hands or on our forearms. Whatever you choose here in your high plank. 3 more breaths. Tummies are tight here. 2 more breaths. Exhaling back down dog, gazing at the feet. Taking a nice breath. Exhale. Walking our hands to our feet, complete forward fold or half forward fold. Feeling that stretch? This is a full body stretch. It's also lifting that body. Taking a breath. Exhale. If we're in that full body, complete forward fold, may we option to rock or sway that body from side to side. Noticing how that feels. If we're in that half forward fold, our backs are slightly straight, we are gaze forward. We can still rock and sway that body from side to side if we choose. Noticing that when we rock and sway, you will feel that stretch a little deeper here in the hamstrings and that sciatica. 4 breaths. 2 more breaths. Exhaling half forward fold, straightening that back. Head is up. Slightly gaze forward. Exhaling to a Tadasana pose. Maybe we're wide-legged. Palms are relaxed at our side. Taking that nice breath. As we point our toes to the outward parts of our yoga mats, we're going to bend our knees coming into that goddess God stance. We got to work our quads. We got to work the lower parts of our bodies. Summer body means working those legs, working those quads, working those calves. In our goddess God stance, you will feel that body burning at the lower parts. Optioning to pulse up and down, or we can sway that body from side to side. Whatever you choose, we can stay still as well. In our cactus hands, we can also breathe our palms up in our extended pose. 4 more breaths. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Finding that pause, straightening our body, standing star. Palms are outward towards the side. Heart chakra is lifted, chin is up. Breathe in. Exhale. Holding our star pose. That chin is up. Eyes are gazed down. Taking a moment to realize that we are the stars in our life. We brighten our nights. We brighten our days. When the lights are dull, when we can't see, we can see within. May we always be our star. May we always shine through. May we always shine bright despite situations. 3 more breaths, standing star. Keeping that chin up. 2 more breaths. Exhaling back down to that goddess God stance. Any goddess stance you choose. Rocking, pulsing, arms up, whatever you choose. 6 breaths. 4 breaths. 2 breaths. Begin to feel that burn. Exhaling wide-legged forward fold, connecting the hands to the ankles, dropping that head downward. Wide-legged, hands to ankles. Feeling that head drop, feeling that body stretch and lengthen. Breathe in. Exhale. Slightly close the eyes or gaze them downward. 5 breaths. Mm. 2 more breaths. Just walk our hands slightly in front of us, breathing our legs together. Let's come into a yogi squat. or a frog pose, yogi squat or frog pose, whatever you choose. We are just taking this time to go inward. We can breathe our palms at heart center, using our elbows to keep our thighs slightly apart. And we can option to gaze our eyes down, to close our eyes if we have that balance, or we can keep those eyes slightly opened. With our palms at heart center here in our frog pose, may we take this time to balance our bodies as we balance our mind, as we work on balancing our lives. For our everyday life requires balance. It requires reflection. It requires focus in order for us to relieve stresses in our lives, daily activities, being overworked and overwhelmed. Just finding that balance, finding that focus is what we're working on here at this moment. As we keep our palms at heart center, as we are gazed forward, as we are working on self and finding balance. 7 breaths of silence. Five more breaths. Three breaths. Exhaling those fingertips downward towards the earth, connecting with our yoga mat. Heart chakras lifted, chin is up as we extend that left arm up in the air. The fingertips flows towards the heavens. Slightly gazing over those left shoulders or the fingertips, feeling that slight spinal twist. 3 breaths. Two breaths. Exhaling the hand down. Extending that left arm up in the air, fingertips flows towards the heavens, gazing at the fingertips or over that right shoulder. Feeling that slight twist. 3 breaths. Two breaths. Exhale down to our seated pose, any seated pose of choice. I'm going to come into a cow face legs. May you find any easy seat that feels good for you. Ensuring our tummies are tucked in at our navel. Spinal cords are nice and elongated. Shoulders are relaxed downward away from the ears. Breathe in. Exhale through the mouth. Ensuring that our chin is relaxed. Our cheeks, facial muscles are relaxed. Our forehead is relaxed. As we breathe our palms at heart center, if that feels good for you, or place our palms on our laps, whatever you choose. As we are using this time to check in with self, noticing how we feel right here, right now, in our present moment, simply being aware without judgment. Always remembering to be kind and loving to oneself. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. I would like to thank you all for allowing me to practice teaching training with you here today, for it truly, truly is a blessing. The light in me sees, appreciates, and respects the light in you all. Namaste.